in 26B to turn on their cameras? Uh, as I mentioned earlier, we are changing the topic from here on. It will be, is internet curbing the creativity? The speaker speaking for the motion will get 5 minutes to speak. I'll show them a sign, post 4 minutes with 1 minute left reminder, and post that I'll say stop. I'll show stop sign to them with saying stop when 5 minutes are over. After that, the team speaking against the motion will get 7 minutes to speak. For the 5 minutes, they show that they'll debate, and for the last 2 minutes, they rebuttal their points. I'll show them a reminder of 1 minute left when 6 minutes are done, and post that I'll show a stop sign and ask them to stop when 7 minutes are done. After that, the team speaking for the motion gets another 2 minutes to rebuttal their points. There won't be any reminder this time though. It'll just start and stop, and after that we'll end the debate. So the team speaking for the motion may start in one. Just do a voice check first, like Ruko. Uh,
Okay, am I audible?
yes, you are. Team 26B.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. So you have to speak your team code before, like once you start with your debate, and post that you can continue with your debate. So team speaking for the motion can start in one, two, three, begin.
Okay. Greetings from all present here. I'd like to thank the Honorable Chair for giving me the opportunity. I'm representing Team 27, and I'll be speaking for the motion Internet is Curbing Creativity. I'll give you a statistic to start it. Around the year 2015, India had roughly 39 crore people using the internet, and in the year 2020, the recent census report, it showcases that the Indian 90 crore people have access to the internet, and over the years, drastically, the number has changed from around 5 GB per family for the entire month to 50 GB as an individual in the month. Okay. Now you might be wondering why the statistics. Okay, I'll explain. The amount of people and the number of people the amount of time they spend on the internet showcases that they shift from the contemporary education and the contemporary ways of understanding things to a more varied and different manner. Yes, internet may connect us to the world, but all because of connection, this leads to a bunch of problems such as globalization. As you have a ton of information, it becomes hard to sort out, and it becomes hard to sort out stuff. Like suppose if I'm trying to understand a specific field, if I'm trying to work in the automotive industry, if I'm trying to find some creative way to improve my design, because of the ton of information that I have, I tend to misplace my ideas and I tend to lose my focus. Creativity is more of an individualistic thing, and it happens when you restrict certain ideas and when you focus on a certain path. Because of globalization, as I've said, people as such tend to start losing their individual traits. Am I audible? Oh, sorry. Okay. Internet also restricts us from stepping out of the comfort zone. Because of all the information that I'm available in, I tend to not care about trying to find the answer in the right way. If the pre-geo era, as I call it, most of the students, as such, we had to find the answers by going to the libraries, going through articles, and finding out and exploring these interests while talking to individuals who have experience in the fields. However, right now, all I have to do is do a quick Google search to find the answer. This does not engage me intellectually as such. And as children, this is actually a big hazard because if children have been given all the answers at their fingertips, they tend to not think about stuff. In the beginning, while I was growing as a kid, the first and foremost thing that I loved was mathematics. And the only reason I loved mathematics was because I could find the right answer by using multiple approaches. The teacher could be giving the right answer, I could be giving the right answer, and a bunch of other students could also be giving the right answer, but we would have different approaches to it. This actually boosted the creativity, whereas due to the internet, you have to find a selected path. right now, while I'm doing engineering as such, I tend to find the problems of calculus a bit more difficult because the standard method that is given, I tend to not follow it. Most individuals, when they are curious, when they're creative, they tend to take out different paths, and that leads to people becoming more engaged, and that leads to intellectual stimulus, that leads to creativity. And because of having a ton of options, our vision as such has become narrower. I'll also give you the cons of the internet that lead to individuals not showcasing the talents and not being creative enough. Because of the culture of showcasing the talent on the internet, most people have become people pleasing, as I call it. I'll explain why. Due to multiple trends going on the social media and due to multiple platforms, people select a specific path, overuse it, and then something new comes up. Instead of that, people should be more approaching. People should create new stuff instead of waiting for. Instead of waiting for finding a new trend. Okay, this has actually led to a lot of people becoming displeased. They tend to kill their ambitions as such, and they don't create stuff that actually engages them, that actually stimulates them. And because of the fear of rejection, it has had adverse effect on people's health, mental health. And because of the adverse effects on people's mental health, they have succumbed to becoming less creative and have become more rigid in their approach towards life. With this, I'd like to pass on the mic to my fellow debater.
Thank you, participant 27A. So now I'd like to move to participant 26B. You speak against the motion. You get 7 minutes to explain debate on a topic, and at 6 minutes I'll show you a reminder, and after that I'll show a stop sign. You may start in 3, 2, 1. Begin.
Good afternoon. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Maya Angelou once said that you can't use up creativity. The more you use it, the more you have. The basic definition of creativity is basically a tendency to think of innovative ideas that help us in problem solving. So, according to me, it would be incorrect to say that the internet is curbing creativity because the internet itself is an exhibit A of creativity. Uh, and I cannot stress enough on the importance of internet for the past 2 years since we've been hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. We've been attending marriages online, funerals as well as birthdays, working from home, and attending college online. It must have been someone's creative idea that has been facilitated by the internet that these ideas came into being today. To suffice my argument, I would also like to give the example of Facebook. Uh, the social media site Facebook was basically designed so that the students of Harvard University could keep in touch with each other and share notes. Now, the mastermind behind Facebook could have simply stuck to the conventional idea of sharing notes in person or keeping in touch with people through phone calls or letters. But he thought outside the box, which was facilitated by the internet. If it was not for the internet, he would not have thought of such an idea and devoted an entire website for this purpose. Now, I would also like to say that the internet, like anything on earth, has two sides. For a person who wants to use it to kill their creativity, it is obviously going to lead in a lack of creativity. But this cannot be blamed on the internet because it is the person's personal choice. And internet, if used in the way that it was meant to be used, it is only going to foster and nurture our creativity. The internet has multiple points of references that we can use as an outline to ideas. Simply copying from these is not creativity, but when we combine multiple resources, this is what is called creativity. The internet also helps in trying and testing our creativity. So an example would be with the coming up of technologies such as virtual reality and artificial intelligence and augmented reality. The people who create new projects, they can first try their project on the ground reality and then launch it in front of the entire world. With this, what happens is they have a sense of safety and they can comprehend the potential loss or the failures or the loopholes that may be a part of their project. This helps them to go think outside the box and be more creative because they can try their projects first. And this is because of the internet. Also, creativity also depends upon a lot of the competition that a person faces. So the internet is, according to me, it is the best stage to portray one's talent, and hence there's a lot of competition there. Once a person feels that there is a competition from another person, they tend to be more creative in order to be different from the others. This is how one way the internet is facilitating our creativity. We must have all heard about what a Kindle is. It is an electronic reading machine. So before the Kindle had come up, authors had to wait for months and years to get a small paragraph published, maybe in the last page of a newspaper. But with the coming of Kindle, they can publish their books within days. And this helps them to be more creative since they are growing an audience that is normal, that is more than normal. So they tend to be more creative because they have to write more and produce more. Also, the internet also helps us in getting feedbacks from people who are viewing our content. So a personal example would be recently I started posting videos of me singing on a social media app. So the first time I posted, there were people who appreciated me, there were people who criticized me, and there were people who gave me feedbacks. And since then I have only grown because I know where I am going wrong, and the internet has helped me. In the COVID-19 pandemic, I am not able to step out of my house, so that is the only way that I can get feedback from people and improve my creativity. So I would just like to say that technology is a great thing that has helped us in many ways. It is clear that as a society we have to a point been dependent on it, but it is not a bad thing as far as we don't allow it to dumb us down. And as my fellow debater also said, that the contemporary way of education is being harmed by the internet. I do not agree to that point, because just because we're not following a contemporary way, that doesn't mean that the way is wrong. It is just a new way of doing things, and that is what is the definition of creativity: to do things in an innovative manner, in a different way. Also, uh, the point about tons of information being available to us and that hampering our creativity, as I mentioned in my speech, it is the way in which a person uses his or her creativity that matters. I mean, that makes the difference. If someone is just using the internet to plagiarize another person's work, it is going to lead to uh, sorry, a backlash in our creativity. Thank you.
Thank you, participant 26B. Now, participant 27A gets another 2 minutes to rebuttal their points. There won't be any reminder this time though. Just start, I'll just say start, and then post it, I'll say stop, and we'll be done with the debate. Is it fine? Yeah, you may start in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Okay, as my fellow debater said that because of the internet, you get more opportunities because that you actually tend to get a more global effect. However, I do believe that because of the stagnation of the amount of people that reach out to you, this leads to individuals losing their individuality and succumbing to being more straightforward. Give you an example. Okay, if a gazillion people start doing similar stuff, and if they start connecting, you wouldn't know what options to choose from, and that would lead to you being confused, and that would lead to you succumbing to believe that you are not good enough for individualistic ideas. However, once you are in smaller groups, you tend to be more creative because the engagement is on a higher level, and the morale is definitely much higher than being on the internet. Internet definitely has a darker side which leads to criticism. However, most people can't handle that. And yes, it may be an individualistic flaw, but we have to consider it. If it weren't for the internet, people may haven't had cyberbullying such as an option that would lead to them becoming more um, deep down, weekend deep down, and which led to them becoming more of average Joe instead of becoming the creative selves. If you look at the amount of creative stuff that has happened over the centuries, it definitely had a sharp turn when the world was connected to each other in the early 20th century. However, at the end of the 20th century and at the beginning of the 20th century, we haven't had any boosts or any era in which the creativity has boosted. Individuals have been making things more efficiently. However, it hasn't led to discoveries of new ideas as such. And with that, I'd like to conclude my statement. Thank you.
Thank you, participant 27A. Judges, I suppose you're satisfied with the debate.
Yes, fine. We can conclude.
I'd like to thank both the participants for participating and being here. Uh, you may leave the room and we can invite the next participants in here. And judges, if possible, can you please mail the scores to the email ID? Thank you.
So I'm ready. Do we have any more contestants?
We do have one more pair, sir. The last one. We'll start once ma'am's ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Perfect, ma'am. So I'd like to invite both the participants speaking for and against the motion to turn on their camera. Team 26A and Team 27B, if you can.
Yeah, I'll have a quick mic check. Is my voice clearly audible to you?
It is, it is.
Am I
All right,
audible
thank
and
you.
visible?
Yes, you are.
All right.
So, as I mentioned earlier, sir, the topic remains same, is internet curbing the creativity. Team speaking for the motion will get 5 minutes to speak for the debate, and I'll show them a reminder after 4 minutes that 1 minute's left. Post that, I'll show them a stop sign when 5 minutes are done. After that, the team speaking against the motion gets 7 minutes to speak. I'll show them a reminder when 6 minutes are done and 1 minute's left, and post that when 7 minutes are done, I'll show them a stop sign. After that, the team team speaking for the motion gets another 2 minutes to rebuttal their points. There won't be any reminder this time though. It will just be start and stop signs, and after that we'll end the debate. Is that fine with you guys?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
absolutely.
Understood.
Shall we start the debate, sir?
Yes, I'm ready.
So the team speaking for the motions, you guys have to speak your team code before you start, right?
Okay.
So the team speaking for the motion starts in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Good morning to one and all. My team code is 26A and I would be speaking for the motion. The essential idea of internet is that of the ease of connectivity. Now this also makes bullying an ideology. For example, the tools on the social media. Connectivity also makes it rather impossible for anyone to come up with any original work nowadays. Ubiquitous internet creates a lot of noise. Moreover, due to the easy access of information work nowadays, it is coupled with the paucity of time, and that the readers, the consumers that are willing to invest, the quality and detailed work always suffer. With the advent of Google Dictionary, one hardly goes through any actual dictionary. Further, the quality of majority of things on the internet is wafer thin. One cannot develop an understanding there. However, whatever is available, since it's readily available, so the people usually settle with it. One of the biggest victims of internet and thereby social media is authenticity. Such mediums are gobblish dreams come true. The think of propaganda, the blitzkrieg, when someone with even modesty appropriate means is truly awesome. With each irritation spoken or rather written, words keep inching towards the reality in this era of relative truth. There was a recent article that postulates that internet is leaving children brain dead, that children of the Google generation who spend a lot of time online are losing the creativity and the skills. We are breeding a generation of robotics whose main social contact is a web-based one and who are losing the ability to talk and deal face to face. Consider the case of students. They are assigned projects so that they can think of better options, create new ideas, explore the imagination. But is it exactly what's happening? No. We are more interested in finding it over internet and just copy pasting. We are not interested in learning something new. We are not interested in exploring our imaginations. And this is not just with the students that are affected, it's with everybody. In the workplace, if we see, the people are based on internet. If we look at life nowadays, we want to write a letter, we go to internet. We want to complete our assignment, internet. Want to make food, YouTube. Want to buy something, go through internet. Everything has made internet the basic step without which you cannot step further. So don't just let internet rule over you. Explore the creativity. Internet is full of plausible lies. And how can a population be more creative if the facts that they are trying to work with are not right to start with? It has been observed that when it comes to creating a new content or writing about a subject, instead of actually testing it out or checking it or trying out or the experimenting people, they most often refer to the already available things on internet and start adding a little bit to it. It is said that the human brain is like a spade. The more you use it, it is the sharper it gets. Our brain appears to reinforce a memory each time we recollect it. And similarly, it fades the memory which are irrelevant and distracts us. So now, do not bother much about retaining information and keep going back to the internet for checking as and when we require it because we have the option of bookmarking it. The whole scenario, according to me, is quite disturbing. There was a time before the internet when to complete our assignments, we used books, we went to the libraries, collected resources, and applied a bit of time. The lack of creativity, it has become unknowingly a practice not to go the extra mile, or is the most of cases to avoid the thinking hat once and for all. There's a lack of creativity. It has become unknowingly a practice not to go to the extra mile, or in most of the cases, just remove the thinking hat and keep it aside. I would like to point a very funny case in point. Ratan Tata, when put in an interview, was said that there was a very famous quote made by him. The journalist there told, "I don't make right decisions, I make decisions and prove them right." When he was asked about this quote, how wonderfully he replied. He said that in this era of internet, this is what happens. I haven't spoken these lines, but I will have to live with it. Some may find it arrogant, some may find it motivational, but I guess I'll just have to keep quiet. Though not everyone is fortunate enough to be associated with the good words only. In the movie Devdas, there is one scene where Paro says to Dev, haven't you heard about my juvenile MMS? Everybody has downloaded it and had fun. And then they turned back and called me a slut. This is possible only in the era of internet. Maybe right to be forgotten, here is a necessity now. You may also see that even the great writers present use internet only for the limited purposes. How many Nobel laureates in any field solely depend on internet for work? Work is not someone using internet to mail something or somebody, but any software for any specific purposes. How many field medalists do rely on internet for research? The topic, how internet is curbing creativity, is actually a reiteration of science is a good servant but a bad master according to me. Creativity is something which is pure genius. It's a fleeting moment when somebody is able to produce a great work. So it's just algorithm and not creativity. In any might say that algorithm is just a lie. Thank you.
Thank you, participant 26A. Now I'll move to participant 27B and ask him to speak against the motion. You'll get 7 minutes to speak. After 6 minutes, I'll show you a reminder, and post that you'll get another 1 minute, and I'll show you a stop sign. So you may start in 3, 2. Yeah, sorry. You have.
I just have a small question. I just want to confirm it that I can note down the points while he speaks for the rebuttal, right?
Yes, certainly can.
All right, thank you.
So you may start in 3, 2, 1. Begin.
Okay. Good afternoon. I thank the Honorable Chair for giving me the opportunity to speak. My team code is 27B, and I will be speaking against the motion. So being an artist myself, I profoundly understand the effect of internet over my creative side of mind. And I simply do not agree with the fact that internet is restraining the ability to create. In fact, I strongly believe that it has taken creativity to a whole new level. Availability of information makes it easier for us to gain knowledge, and hence it leads to a rise in creativity. What internet is currently providing us is easily accessible information, which has nothing to do with creativity. And if that information is used correctly, then of course your creative side is bound to get better. Internet has provided us a platform for millions of people to showcase their talent, learn new things, and much more from the comfort of their own home. It has also provided employment options to a significant amount of our population who are using their creative skills in order to develop our world. And saying that internet restrains our creativity after knowing that, it's just illogical. Small businesses, online teaching, online learning, online trading, all these are examples of how we as individuals have created internet. I'm sorry. So one of the greatest minds of the 21st century, Elon Musk, the creator of Tesla, the creator of SpaceX, who is also currently working on Starlink. So Starlink is basically a low latency broadband internet system to meet the needs of consumers across the globe. Now imagine if the internet was not there. His ideas would have taken generations to become global. Instead, it was all possible with a snap of a finger, just because of the availability of internet. Jeff Bezos, a multi-billionaire, to make the most out of it. It is one of the most successful businesses in history with an annual turnover of over 386 billion US dollars. And so many young minds are being inspired by people like them. And taking this away shall not increase, rather kill ambitions and creative ideas. The facts that you shared with us are definitely available in some book somewhere, but yet you use the internet to gain this information because, let's face it, it was more easily accessible and just made more sense. Rather than spending hours in libraries in order to find that one piece of information. This definitely does not define your creativity, but the decision whether or not you want to use the internet where it is easily accessible for you, it definitely defines your smartness. In conclusion, I would like to say that blaming the internet for curbing creativity, instead of blaming the internet for curbing creativity, we should rather learn how to make proper use of it, because this world is bound to develop in terms of technology. So we have to cope up with it and make the most out of it. Coming back to the points that you said, the one about authenticity, I would like to say that is plagiarism and has nothing to do with the internet. It has been going on since the very beginning, and internet is just a platform where people are allowed to showcase their talents. It has nothing to do with whether or not it depends on the people what they want to do with those things. It is more of a topic where morals and ethics are involved, and I don't think how that is relevant in internet disturbing our creativity. With this, I would like to conclude my argument. Thank you.
Thank you, participant 27B. Now we'll come back to participant 26A and ask her to rebuttal her points. You'll get 2 minutes for that, and you may start in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Very respectfully, I would like to ask you, since you already mentioned that you are an artist yourself, I would like to mention that in the earlier times, we used to observe that Bharatnatyams, dances like Bharatnatyams, or the great writers or the singers, or they had some kind of, they religiously followed their art. But in this era of internet, we see that even the Bharatnatyam teachers, the classic teachers over there, they have been sidelined from the mainstream of the society, and they have been asked to thumb their feet and tap their hands on these remixes that are present on the internet. Somebody else is using the is copywriting somebody else's work, and just because of the media sensation that internet is creating, the minds are blown away. The minds are blown away, and they just run for the case of fame and not of authenticity. And secondly, my other question, should he answer, or I should continue first for 2 minutes?
I don't think I'm allowed to answer.
Yeah, all right. And secondly, you mentioned that I wrote my speech using internet. So isn't it like the reiteration again, is internet curbing creativity? Like science is a good servant but a bad master. And thirdly, copying about plagiarism. Internet, when we sit to work, we have the paucity of time in this running generation. Don't we as a law student, or you as a law student, use Quillbot or apps like Plagiarism Checker, or maybe Summarizer? And that is where the mind has been curved by using creativity. We do not even start picking up pen. We do not even start thinking about writing a paper. We just have it all available, and all the authenticity, and just because the data available on the internet is a huge lot, it's just robotizing our minds, and it's creating an aura of like I think digital amnesia that has been propounded these days. So what's your take on it? And one more point that I would like to focus is the internet using for, all right, the morals and ethics that you put out. So morals and ethics have been there since very long, since a long time. So you just cannot portray the morals and ethics on my face and say that internet has not curbed any kind of creativity, because we see that how the minds have been secluded and how wafer thin the quality of work has become. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, participant 26A. Judges, are you satisfied with the debate?
Yeah.
Thank you for being here and thank you for participating in this debate competition, both the participants. You may leave the room now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
So, Puru, do you confirm both the participants have left?
Yes, they have left, sir.
Okay. About this last participant, 20.